Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the channel. I don't know if you guys saw my other video, but I basically went into it a little bit, and you guys might be able to relate to this a little bit, but ever since I've been working more of like this office style type of job, it's felt like it's been taking me away more and more from nature, and I've been just really wanting to try to get myself back into nature and go outdoors more. Um, I'm in the past few years I've been going on more hikes and more stuff like that, and I used to be the type of person to not even really go outside much, but now I realize that it's something that I want in my life more and more. This all started about 6 months ago when I started watching a YouTuber called the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and what this guy does is he gets everything he needs to survive in a backpack, and he'll go travel somewhere. Usually he does more severe conditions like snow, but he's basically outdoors for a day or two, and this really got me interested in, and I started looking more into it. And there's something called backpacking. So I definitely watched my fair share of backpacking videos, but it eventually caused me to want to get into it. It definitely looks like something that's fun, and we're all connected to all these devices around ourselves, and we're used to the comforts that we have in our house, or the food we typically will just grab out of the cabinet that's ready to eat. And things like that. And I kind of want to connect back to that sort of roots version of myself, and I'm hoping that it will make me appreciate more of the luxuries that we have. Also, getting into a new hobby is always fun for me. I like learning a lot and learning the different brands and the different techniques people use, and all sorts of things. The gear I bought isn't necessarily the cheapest gear, but it's also not that expensive compared to the like professional grade gear. I didn't want to go all out and buy all the highest quality stuff, but I didn't want to buy something too cheap to where I wouldn't be able to use it for that long. In the future, I'm expecting that I will actually like this hobby, and so I bought something keeping in mind like all the seasons, as well as like traveling to other places. Like, who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to travel around the world and experience a lot of these beautiful locations that our world has to offer. Another reason why I think backpacking is so fascinating is that you basically have everything that you need to survive in a backpack on your back. You don't need anything else. You don't need, you don't need a trailer full of stuff, or anything like that. You just need some food and water, a way to filter water, and basically the only thing that's stopping you from going on extended period length trips is the amount of food you bring. I also think it's kind of funny that there is this backpacking community, and when you think about it, you're pretty much just paying a lot of money to become homeless for a little bit. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the unboxing part of this video, which I'm sure you guys are all looking forward to if you're interested in backpacking. And also keep in mind that yes, I am a beginner, and if you're more experienced in this field, you would probably not choose the same gear that I chose, but I wanted to get something that was simple and easy, and I didn't want to do hours and hundreds of hours of research and testing before I bought this stuff. I just wanted to get into it, and if I don't like something, I could always upgrade in the future. So this is my very first experience with this kind of stuff, so keep that in mind. Now we got our handy dandy Benchmade. I got this quote from my grandma a while ago. You may notice a common theme with the stuff I got is a lot of it's from REI, and I went with a lot of their stuff because they make it really easy for beginners like me to get into this type of thing. They have a website with a lot of stuff on it, and they actually have a store near me that I was able to go and try some of the things out and they generally have pretty good reviews. Alright, so here we got, it looks like our sleeping bag. It's pretty lightweight, it's probably like a pound or two. Oh, it says 3 pounds. And this was probably $200. Now there's like different rated sleeping bags. This one's, I believe, rated to about 20 degrees. So I made sure to get something that I'd be extra warm in. And there's this material that you hear a lot in the backpacking scene called down, which is basically like duck feathers from what I understand. And that makes for a very lightweight and insulated product. This is a down sleeping bag, and so it's extra lightweight and it can get to that 20-degree rating. I do wish there was a different color for that sleeping bag, but I'm fine with the brown. I wish it was like green or something. Alright. Now, this is the Flex Light camp chair. This is an optional thing to buy, but I think that being able to sit down is an important part of making your camp feel like a nice place to be. $79 might seem like a lot of money to you for a chair, and yeah, it's kind of expensive, but I think it's an important part of setting up camp, and a lot of the ones on Amazon aren't gonna last you that long. They're like 50 bucks, so I might as well spend the extra $20 and get something with a warranty and that will last you a little while longer. A common theme you'll see with backpacking is people really focus on the weight, because obviously you don't want to be carrying, you know, a 40-pound backpack uphill and across like many miles. A lot of people focus on this aspect too much, in my opinion. I saw a video and it kind of resonated with me. It was like, you could get the lightest of the light gear, and that's going to reduce the padding on your backpack, make things like thinner and less durable. And a lot of the times you're not going to be, like, if you're shaving a few pounds off, yeah, it'll be nice, but if it's not designed, if things like your backpack aren't designed to put weight where they're supposed to be because it's so thin, you're gonna actually have a harder time carrying that kind of thing. Like if you have a backpack that supports you in the right areas and puts all the weight where it's supposed to be, like on your hips, you'll that extra, 5 to 10 pounds won't feel as heavy because your body's carrying the weight how it's supposed to be. There's like the hyperlight backpacks that are so thin, and they apparently aren't the most comfortable from what I've heard. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Alright. Another package. I know what this one is. Alright, so this is my backpack that I went with. This was probably around $200. It might have been like $170 actually. I can't remember, but this is the Trailmade 60 pack, and the 60 stands for 60 liters of things you could pack into here. That's how they measure the size of the backpacks usually. I'm not sure how actually accurate that is, but it kind of looks a little bit dirty, but probably just from the packaging. That's okay, it's gonna get dirty anyways, right? And then I got the blue with the darker blue. I thought it looked nice, and it was either this one or the North Face one, and after reading some of the North Face reviews, people say that that's more of like a clothing brand than an actual quality outdoor product. And you definitely don't want to cheap out on your backpack, because if it rips, you don't want to be carrying all this stuff back to camp, and you don't want to be losing things. So that's the pack I chose, and you know, it's kind of hard to find which one's best. So I thought you know, REI makes quality products from what I could tell, and I'm sure it'll do its job. I also tested it out in the store and it seemed to be alright, so. Alright, this one's a little bit heavier. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so the first thing is my sleeping pad, and this is the Tensor All Season. So this could go, theoretically this is fine for even like almost negative temperatures from what I was reading. And basically this is, if you don't know what a sleeping pad is, it's like a thin plastic thing kind of. It's a pretty lightweight, like this is probably about 2 pounds. This is insulated, and it's I'm a taller person, and I like to have a little bit wider of an area to sleep because I roll around and stuff at night. So I got the longer and wider pad, and you just basically will fill this up with air when you're on the trail, and you'll have a bed to sleep on. It's not as good as sleeping as on a mattress, obviously, but it's definitely better than laying on the rocks and stuff. You could see on their diagram that it has like all these types of layers and things like that. And you could see right here, it says 5.4 R value. And what the R value is how much, how insulated this pad is going to be. So a lot of the times the pads are going to be are like 1 or 2, and they won't be great for sleeping on things like snow or something. And so I thought, you know, might as well get a nicer sleeping pad, because I don't want to cheap out on my sleep. Like if you're hiking and stuff like that, you don't want to be waking up tired the next day. You know, I'm already probably not going to be sleeping that well while I'm in a tent, and so might as well maximize the sleep that I do get. Also, it's from Nemo, which I learned is like one of the probably the best brands to buy. That's what everyone was recommending, at least. So, you know. And so yeah, that's my sleeping pad. That was about $200 as well. Okay, and then here is my tent. This is the REI Trailmade 2. I ended up getting a 2-person tent, and it's about 4 pounds. And I was gonna get the 1-person, but people were saying that it's much better to get the 2-person because you'll have a little bit more room to put things like your backpack inside of your tent. And I'll probably end up setting this up in my house before I go out, or even just today, and see how big it is. It's a little bit heavy, not gonna lie, at 4 pounds. A lot of the single-person tents can be like about 2 pounds, but I think that if you want to go with someone, or and I don't know, just want the extra room, it's just a better thing. And then I went with REI again because they made the decision a little bit easier. They make quality products, don't really have to think much about it. And I was looking at the North Face Stormfront because I liked the color of it, but I really don't think the tent matters as much. There's different types of tents, like some don't have a floor, some don't have seam ceiling, which like makes it harder for water to get in the cracks. There's like things called a bathtub floor, where it's like the bottom of it will go higher so that rain can't get in. But this should be a good all-around tent for most trips. Alright, now we're gonna take a look at some of the smaller things. Just a disclaimer, I already opened this box to take a few things out because I bought more stuff than just backpacking gear, but you'll get the gist of it. Just go along with the video. I didn't unbox anything yet or take too much of a look at it. So something I foresee while I'm out there is managing to stay clean. I'm the type of person that really doesn't like feeling dirty, especially when I'm going into bed. So I was thinking that if I got some baby wipes, I could wipe down my hands and arms and get the dirt off as best as I can, so that I feel a little bit better when I'm going into my sleeping bag. And then this is a dry bag. I just got a $6 generic dry bag. When you're when you're outdoors, you have to hang your food off of a tree or something away from your shelter, or else animals will be attracted to your shelter, and you don't want that. So I just got a random dry bag. That's what people were recommending. The REI and different companies have like these clear plastic barrels, but they seem harder to carry around, and this just seems like the best option for cheap. First aid kit, lightweight first aid kit. I didn't look too much into it. It was just on Amazon. Just picked it. It was cheap, and you know, it's better than not having anything. This is a water filter. I think these are good to have even if you don't backpack, just in case if any emergencies happen. It's about 20 or 30 bucks, and you won't have to worry about having fresh water. I could go fill up a bottle from a river or something and not have to worry about whether or not it's safe to drink. You just fill up this little teeny bag right here, and you squeeze it into a water bottle. This is also pretty lightweight at 95 grams. And there's a bunch of different companies, but I heard Platypus makes pretty good ones. And then I just put this in here. You're gonna need a knife. Yeah, that's it. And then if you can, also have one of these types of knives, a utility knife. A headlamp. So when you're choosing a headlamp, there's so many different ones to choose, but I wanted to definitely not cheap out on this. I wanted to get a black diamond one. This one isn't rechargeable, but they do make USB-C rechargeable ones, which looked really good. This one's also got a waterproof rating. And then some of the other things I was looking for when buying my headlamp is, does it have a red light? Because at night you don't want to be getting blue light as much, so that you sleep better. And it's less bright probably. And how light is it? I wanted this one to be lightweight. It has a band that's made out of cotton or whatever they used, and it's probably a good product. It has 400 lumens, which is probably enough. And there's some more stats if you're interested. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not, but you can look it up if you want. Next, this is called a teeny pump, and it's basically this little piece right here. And as you saw, I bought this sleeping pad, and I don't want to be blowing this up by just my mouth, so I bought this teeny pump, which is a lightweight way to inflate your sleeping pad. And then what is this? This is a power bank. I just bought a generic power bank off Amazon. It was probably 10 or 20 bucks. You don't want your phone to die because that's gonna have your maps and stuff on it. And I also got it in case my GoPro dies. Alright, so last but not least is my kitchen and cooking setup. And basically, when you're backpacking, you bring this canister of fuel and you connect it to what they call a stove, which is basically just a fuel regulator with somewhere to put a pot on it. I was going to opt for something more expensive, but after seeing this on Amazon with decent reviews, it was about $20, and you can Let's take a look. And for $20, it was kind of hard to beat. So, inside here, this is basically what a stove looks like. It'll screw onto your canister and shoot out a flame out of here. And they're pretty lightweight. It comes with a cup and a bigger pot that you could put the fuel inside of here and then boil the water you need for food to hydrate your food if you're bringing dehydrated meals. And you know, if you want to make tea or something. But yeah, that's all the stuff I got. And I don't really think you need to buy the most expensive stove, but just if you can spend the extra money, maybe get a name brand one. But this being $20, having a stove and pots and pans with it was a really great deal. Alright, so it's a little bit later in the day, and I was just trying to pack up my bag. There's a lot less pockets than I thought there were. There's a lot less pockets on this thing than I thought there were, but I guess that's what they have to do to keep it lightweight. I found one on the back of this top piece, and I'm just trying to pack things up how I was. And then this is the teeny pump that I got, and it's also a lantern if you hold it down, so you could hang that from your tent and it will provide some light. That's nice, and I think, yeah, that's how you turn it off. And then I have that hooked up, charging to the battery pack. Luckily it came with some battery in it. But I was just unboxing this headlamp, and I thought it was kind of cool how they designed it, and it came with 4 batteries, so that's really cool of them to include the batteries. Unfortunately it's not a rechargeable headset, but at the same time the batteries will last a while with just the LEDs in here. Keeping in mind this is a splash resistant light, so it's kind of cool how you change the batteries. You just unfold it here and then it opens up, and it's pretty easy. You just pop in the batteries. But yeah, and then I also rinsed off my kitchen set. It came with this metal cup with a koozie on it, and then in the bag, I don't know if I could do this one here. And then in the bag, it came with these like folding utensils that are kind of cool. I don't plan on bringing these because they're a little bit heavier than they need to be. I heard that Walmart sells like a pretty decent plastic spoon or a spork, and you could always use your like regular knife to cut the meat if you want. But like all these little like bags and stuff, or these little bits and stuff that come with the pump, like if you cut all this weight out, you'll end up saving a lot of weight. Like, so it'll end up being like a couple pounds, I would think. But yeah, I'm gonna try to pack everything into this pack and then show you how it all looks. I'm hoping it all fits. And then that's the sleeping bag. I took it out of the bigger sack and then compressed it down into that smaller sack. But it still looks really big. I'm sure it'll fit in here, but it's probably going to take up a majority of the room. Same with the chair and the tent. Like, I don't know if this is all going to fit in here, but we'll see how it goes. And I'll update you guys if I find anything else cool. Alright, so here's the backpack in more detail. It has pretty much no pockets on the outside, just these straps to tighten down. And then it has like this little cubby thing that goes all the way down here. It's kind of deep. And what's interesting on this backpack is there's this lower compartment that's separated from the upper compartment with this little sack thing. And you can undo it. You just undo this little piece and it'll flatten down. But I have the sleeping pad and like the first aid kit down here. Probably gonna put in the little stove kit and see how everything fits that way. There's also these outer pockets on each side. And then on the top here, there's this thing right here. There's this little flap here for water. You could put a camel back in here. And there's I don't know if you guys can see that well, but there's like this metal wire underneath this thing, so it's like a frame. And there's a deep sack right in there for your camelback or whatever you put in there. But yeah, it's a pretty standard backpack. And then that'll fold over and clip on, but I put all the like little teeny things like the little pump and stuff like that in there, and the water filter. So, and I'll put this little knife in there too. But yeah. Alright guys, so here's how the backpack looks. It's got everything in it, and when I put it on, this is how it looks. I have a little bit of shoulder acne, so it kind of hurts, but I noticed something and now I'm going to have to return the backpack. So if I adjust this, I don't know how well you guys can see, but essentially this little piece is as tight as it goes, and there's still like a ton of room in between it. And on the website it said like this is the taller version, which I didn't think would mean like wider. So now I'm gonna probably head to REI and see if they could either get me a new one or something, because this isn't gonna work. There's like, this has got to go another probably, you know, however much distance that is, and the weight has to be supported on your shoulders, so this is just not gonna work, which is really unfortunate because I really like the way this thing looks, and I was excited for it because it's like, I just checked the website, it's about $170, so it's a pretty good value backpack, and it feels good. Everything seems high quality, but this size is just not gonna fit me. So I'm gonna head to REI probably within 20 minutes and try to get a new one ordered in. I just checked the website and they don't have the same color in the smaller size, but maybe they could order one to my house or to the store and I could pick it up later. So I'll update you guys later on that, and you know, take one last look at it. Here it is. It was kind of a tight fit getting everything in, but I feel like no matter what size backpack, whether this is a 65 liter or a 70 liter or whatever this case may be, it's gonna still be difficult to get everything in there. I know you can probably get a smaller sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is pretty big. There's a lot of like extra leg room and stuff in it. And on the bottom, there's like a decent amount of room. But yeah, that sleeping bag definitely took up a majority of the space in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to REI and see if they can get me something that'll fit me a little bit better. On second thought, before I return the backpack, I might as well see what it would be like to stop at a spot and set up camp. So I'm gonna just go ahead and unload everything, try to build the tent, you know, clear out the boxes and stuff, and see how everything functions and how quickly it will take. But I'm just gonna set up a time lapse and see how that ends up working. So, as you guys can see, there's this piece that goes over the tent, and the tent went up really easily, but I'm not too sure about this. I'm pretty sure that this gets pulled out like here and then stakes into the ground. Obviously, I can't stake through my floor, but I would say that it's a little bit bigger than what I really need, and it's definitely really tall. I thought it'd be a little bit smaller. But I think that it's still a pretty good option to go with, even if you're just a one-person camping. It seems like it's a 4 feet-ish by probably 7 feet or so. I don't know, 4 or 5 feet, probably 4. I'd say that's about 4.5 feet by however much. And then once you stick this into the ground and it pulls out, you'll have an outdoor area where there's no floor. And then this is what I was talking about with the bathtub floor. See how it goes? The blue part goes up above. It doesn't just end here, so that if the water is flowing, it wouldn't just flow in. And then this is called a footprint, which I was surprised to find out that it was built into the actual tent, so that you don't have to put a tarp down or anything. And then you guys probably saw me flip the tent around from this side. I thought that the door was on this side, but it turns out there's a door on each side, so that could be helpful for if you have 2 people and you don't want to step over the other person while they're sleeping or something. But yeah, that's how it looks. Pretty nice. Has the REI logo here. And then I'm not sure, there's like little, I'll show you guys. There was like these little, I don't know what to call them. What is it? When you take off this Velcro, there's this stick thing. I'm not too sure what that's all about, but I'll have to read the directions or something. Oh, maybe it goes like this. It's a little vent. I just figured it out just like that. That's cool. So if you're in some like rain or maybe even snowy weather, you probably don't want the flap open, but if you're in summer weather, you could just take off this whole top layer and you can see the stars or whatever. I personally would probably want to have this layer on unless it was really hot, because I like the privacy. I would want to feel like the walls are actually real walls. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to inflate my sleeping pad and do the rest of the setup here and see how that goes. Alright, so the sleeping pad comes with this pump sack, and if you wanted to use that, you just attach this little piece onto the air mattress, and then you blow into this, but not directly. Like, you have to hold your face away so that more air goes that way. And imagine this was plugged up. You just roll this and it would blow the air into the sack. I just used the mini pump and it worked pretty good. It's a little bit slow, but it saves you a lot of effort having to use this sack. I'd probably end up bringing this anyways, because if the pump runs out of battery or something, or it breaks, might as well have some security and bring this. It doesn't weigh much, so I would say that's something you should bring. And then the chair, this thing was able to fold out and build itself really quickly. It's extremely comfortable actually. It's more comfortable than most chairs I've sat in, which is surprising considering it's made out of some aluminum sticks and a small rag basically. It's very comfortable though. It contours to my back and I could sit in this for a long time probably. It's more comfortable than most office chairs and a lot of just wooden chairs and stuff, of course. And then the sleeping bag, that doesn't take much to roll out, but yeah, so the sleeping pad takes up most of the room. It pretty much barely fits actually. It's almost to the edge on that side, and then same thing on that side. I fit on it. If I were to lay, if I were to lay like with my head here, with like a few inches to spare, my feet are pretty much touching the end, so I'd say that's the perfect size because I don't want my feet rolling off of it. And it's decently wide, like I have a room for my hands and stuff. I wish it was a little teeny bit wider, but I'd rather not have to carry on the extra weight and stuff. So it's pretty thick. It's about 3 inches thick, and when it's completely compressed, it's very thin. So I don't know how they fit all that insulation in there or what the insulation actually is. It feels like grocery bag material or something. So it's impressive what science can do. If that's able to keep me warm somehow in like negative temperatures, that's impressive. Oh, and then one more thing that I liked was that this is the fill hole, and you can see that it's open right now and it's not losing any pressure, but if I open this flap it'll decompress. That's really good because if the pump is not perfectly sealing, like this little bit here that attaches onto the pump, it doesn't seal like extremely great, but it was still able to inflate this to where it has to be because no air is going to leak out of it when it's open like that. So that's a really nice feature to have. It takes a lot of frustration out of it. But yeah, this is what my camp would kind of look like. Obviously I'd probably set up the outer tent layer too, but just for testing, I mean, I get the point. I still have about 2 feet or so on the side of the bed to put my stove or my backpack and stuff like that. So really, this is really not a 2-person tent in my opinion. This is more of a 1.5-person tent, but I'm glad I got the 2-person because I wouldn't really want anything smaller than this now that I see everything in here already. And I put the little teeny light on the pump and hung it off the roof, so at night I would think that would look very nice. But so far I'm really happy with how everything looks and how everything feels and how comfortable everything is. Like, you would think a sleeping pad like this wouldn't be comfortable, but you're pretty far off the ground, and even if most of your weight's like into, like if your hips are digging in, it still really doesn't touch the ground or anything. Unless you, like, obviously if you put all your weight on one part, it'll touch it, but once you spread your weight across the pad, it you won't even notice that you're sleeping on like rocks and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna head to REI and see if I could exchange my backpack and have a new one ordered in. One thing that never arrived yet, and I forgot about, and I thought was here already, was the pillow. I bought another Nemo product, though the same brand as the sleeping pad. I bought their deluxe pillow. It was a little bit on the pricier side, but I figured might as well get a nice pillow so that I have a good night's sleep, because I really want to minimize the amount of discomfort I am while I'm camping and while I'm extremely exhausted from hiking. So I got that pillow on the way. It will be here in a couple more days, so maybe if they can order me a new backpack, they'll get here at the same time. But yeah, guys, I'll update you and see what happens. Alright guys, so I just got back from REI and I was able to return the backpack, and then they're gonna ship one to the store and I'll go ahead and pick that up whenever it arrives. They did have one in stock, but it was the brown color and I wanted the blue color, so they are shipping that one in. What had happened is it's called there's the regular backpack and there's the extended backpack, and I chose the extended backpack thinking that it was like a longer bag area or something, but that actually meant that I ordered a 2XL bag. Like the waist was meant for like a 2XL person, and I'm not too skinny, but I'm definitely not double XL. I could probably fit a medium realistically, but while I was there, I picked up some fuel, and I'm just gonna fuck around and play with the open flame, see how that works, and yeah, let's see how the stove goes. Alright, so I got it set up. Pretty simple. Just screw on the stove onto the gas. One thing to make sure is that the stove is turned off. Mine was on like full blast and it was shooting gas all through my house, but I turned it off and re-screwed it on. And this is what it looks like. Excuse my fruit over there that I was eating. But what you do is you don't need much, just crack it open. That sparks, and that thing is fucking ready to cook right there. I don't see a reason to buy a super expensive stove at the moment. There's this brand MSR that is on the gas bottle. They make stoves, and I was gonna get one of those, the MSR Rocket. Maybe if I was going on a more like higher risk trip or something in like harder conditions, I could maybe see why you'd want to buy like a $80 to $100 stove, but I personally think that this one will do me plenty fine. Just take them out and unfold the sides. I'm gonna put that on there, and that's your cooking apparatus. So they do make these stoves where the pot/cup is built into the actual stove, and they call them the Jet Boil. There's also knockoff brands of those too, but they're like 120 to 150 bucks from what I remember, and I personally think that that's kind of a waste. Like, they say they're a little bit more efficient, but I mean, that's debatable. I don't see why you would want to spend that much on basically just a tin cup with like I got all this stuff for 20 bucks. So unless there's someone out there that knows why you'd want to spend that much, I just personally don't see why this is not perfectly fine. I might not end up bringing this plastic piece. I don't really see the point of it. You could just do that and it'll be flat still. So, I mean, but yeah, that's the stove, and I don't know how hot that is, but you could fit the gas inside there and then unscrew the stove, put it on the side, or even on top. It almost fits in like that, but you probably have to fold in the feet or something. Let's see. You could just do that and it'll be ready to go when you pull it out. But I'll probably end up unscrewing it so it doesn't leak or something. I'm glad that I could make this video and share with you guys what my new hobby is that I'm getting into. If you are interested in it, comment down below like what trips you have been on or what you want to do in the future. I've never done it before. Also, feel free to give me some tips because I don't really know 100% what I'm doing. I'm learning along the way. But yeah, that's my setup. Yeah, most of my stuff's REI stuff, but I personally think that their equipment seems to be pretty high quality. It's not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive. And I'm sure it'll be reliable enough for me. Everything came out to about $1,200, which may sound like a lot at first, but if you really think about it, I'm not going to be having to buy all of this gear all the time. And $1,200 for this hobby, where you're not really having to buy a whole lot of things. There's more of a upfront cost, and then, you know, once you buy all this main equipment, it's not a huge expense. It's not a hugely expensive hobby compared to like cars or something, where the engine block over there, which is like half of an engine, was like $5K. Or, you know, technology where everything's expensive with that, like building a PC. This, you're just buying this stuff pretty much once. You know, you might have to upgrade gear eventually here and there, but for the most part, everything is gonna be a one-time purchase. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did I buy the wrong equipment? What do you think about the equipment? And I'm excited to make my first outdoor camping video. I'm still not 100% sure where I'm gonna end up going, but I'm thinking maybe somewhere along the coast would be nice to get a beach view and camp and hear the water. I'm also a little bit anxious about how it's gonna be at nighttime, like if I'll be paranoid or not. That's definitely a possibility, but yeah, I'm glad I could share my experience with you guys and see how I can grow in the future. But thanks for watching this video, and I hope that I brought some value to you. And yeah, have a good rest of your day. Thank you.